U.S.-Ukraine relations are entering a new, volatile chapter. After months of escalating tensions, President Donald Trump's administration has taken steps that have surprised international political observers. From cutting military aid and engaging in secret talks with Ukraine's opposition to planning the deportation of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian refugees from the U.S., the question arises: is this a new negotiation strategy? Or is it a sign of an irreparable rift? Join D2 Global News as we delve into the latest moves by the Trump administration and analyze their impact on the Ukraine conflict as well as the U.S.'s geopolitical position on the global chessboard. According to sources from Politico, 4 senior officials in the Trump administration have engaged in discussions with Yulia Tymoshenko, leader of Ukraine's opposition, and key figures in the party of former President Petro Poroshenko. The central topic of these negotiations is the possibility of holding an early presidential election in Ukraine, a controversial proposal, as Ukrainian law prohibits elections while the country remains under martial law. This suggests that the Trump administration is losing confidence in incumbent President Volodymyr Zelensky. Tensions between the two leaders peaked during an Oval Office meeting on February 28, after which Washington decided to suspend military aid and halt intelligence sharing with Kyiv. This is a pivotal shift, reflecting a change in U.S. strategy toward the war in Ukraine. Nevertheless, some signs indicate that Washington is keeping the door open for dialogue. On March 5, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz stated that the U.S. might consider restoring military aid if Ukraine agrees to enter negotiations. The question is, does Trump genuinely seek to promote peace, or is he simply using leverage to secure a more favorable deal for the U.S.? Beyond military matters, the Trump administration has shocked the Ukrainian community in the U.S. with a plan to revoke the temporary legal status of approximately 240,000 Ukrainian refugees. This means thousands of Ukrainian families face the risk of deportation in the coming months. Sources indicate that this decision is part of a broader strategy by the Trump administration to end humanitarian amnesty programs that were enacted under former President Joe Biden. More than 1.8 million immigrants from Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Afghanistan, and other countries are also at risk under this strict immigration crackdown. The White House and the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, have yet to issue an official statement. However, an executive order signed by Trump on January 20 directed DHS to terminate all category-based amnesty programs. This means that not only Ukrainians but also over 530,000 other migrants could face deportation in the near future. If enforced, this decision could trigger international backlash and further strain U.S.-Ukraine relations, which have already been tested by the Trump administration's recent actions. Is this simply a negotiation tactic, or is it part of Trump's hard-line immigration policy? Trump's recent decisions have sparked polarized reactions. While conservative politicians support his tough stance, many European allies and human rights organizations have condemned these actions. Cutting military aid, negotiating with Ukraine's opposition, and deporting refugees could have far-reaching consequences. For Ukraine, these moves could weaken Zelensky's government, create domestic political instability, and undermine Ukraine's ability to resist Russian aggression. For Russia, a reduction in U.S. support for Ukraine could be seen as a green light by the Kremlin, potentially encouraging Moscow to escalate military pressure. For Europe, NATO allies may have to shoulder more responsibility in supporting Ukraine while also dealing with a new wave of Ukrainian refugees if the U.S. proceeds with mass deportations. For U.S. domestic politics, this decision could help Trump solidify his position in the upcoming presidential election, particularly among voters who favor strict immigration policies and an America First foreign policy. With these bold moves, Donald Trump is reshaping U.S. foreign policy in a completely new direction. Rather than continuing strong support for Ukraine, he appears to be adopting a more pragmatic approach, maximizing pressure to secure U.S. strategic interests. However, this strategy also comes with significant risks, including alienating allies and weakening America's global standing. Is this a shrewd political maneuver or a dangerous gamble? The answer will unfold in the coming months as the world watches Ukraine, Russia, and the international community respond. Thank you for watching this video. What are your thoughts on this issue? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. See you next time.